Today we start a new series called 52 Questions. And to begin, we ask the question, why do we need a Saviour? The Torah says that man was created by God in his image and that he was different from all God's other creations. But what does that mean? It does not mean that man looks like God, since God does not have a size or a shape. Instead, the Bible tells us that man was created a spiritual, rational, and moral being. God created man to be immortal. In this way, he was a true reflection of God's holy character. At this point in history, man was perfect and lived in perfect harmony with God, since God intended man to live forever. Then something happened. God had put Adam and Hawa in the garden, and he had given them great freedom. But God had warned them not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or they would die spiritually as punishment. This was the test for them of their willingness to obey God simply because he said it. But Satan tempted Hawa to disobey God. Hawa listened to Satan and ate the fruit, giving some to her husband also. In this moment, sin entered the world, separating them from God. Next, they hid from God. Instead of loving God, they were terrified of him. Adam and Hawa were left with a dead soul and a dying physical body. We can think of it like this. When pollution occurs at the source of a river, the entire river is polluted. Similarly, every human since then has inherited Adam's corrupt nature and sinful character at birth. The Bible has this to say about sin in Romans chapter 5 and verse 12. Therefore, just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men because all sinned. And you, dear listener, know the truth of your own heart. You know that you are not 100% honest and 100% pure 100% of the time. This fact alone points to the reality that we were all born sinners. Sin is serious because by sinning we break God's holy law. When we sin, we deliberately choose to sin. On Judgment Day, each person will answer to God for even their impure thoughts, such as hating someone, which God equates with murder. Sin is that serious with God. God will not forgive us if we just say sorry each time we sin. Because God is perfectly just as a judge, he must punish sin. And if we die without our sin being paid for, we go to hell forever. Religion cannot save you, since even your best efforts are flawed and unacceptable to God, who is perfectly holy. Nor can religion take away your sin, since your good deeds cannot remove your bad deeds. Religion cannot change your sinful nature, since bad behavior is only a symptom of the problem. The problem is the human heart. By nature, each person's heart is deceitful and desperately sick. Going to the mosque and doing good deeds might make you feel better, but they cannot make you good on the inside. And this is God's standard. But God has made a way through Jesus. And you might ask, how did God make a way through Jesus? This is the point of the gospel. Listen to number 2 in our series when we ask the question, what is the gospel?